So this week we've got a couple of new items and returning items, one of which being is Spicy McNuggets from McDonald's, and their new, which I don't think I've done a wrap before as a review, so their new Fajita wrap, which sounds pretty nice. And as always, if you stick around, you'll see exactly how I rated it, what it cost me, and more to the point, as every week, was the advertised anywhere near the reality? So as we do every week, finishing off the unbagging a little bit later than the last few videos. However, just to address, first of all, I've got negative comments, which I'm happy about. You know, my videos are potentially stretching out into the ether of the YouTube world and annoying some of the bots, which I think it was just a bot. But either way, you're getting a review this week, apparently, from a twat from Wigan. Don't know where that comes from. So anyway, the twat maybe, Wigan definitely not. So, and at never any point in my life. So let's just clear that up. Yeah, so this week we're back at McDonald's. You know, not to make it too similar, obviously, every week, but it is food reviews. And obviously I don't want to waffle too much, but they've got a couple of new items. They've got a couple of returning items, which I think was just worth waiting a week to do a review on, you know, quite a few items per video. And you can see their first wrap review, which I'm pretty sure I've never done a wrap review for McDonald's. I could be wrong, but I don't think I have. So they've got many other wraps, and you can have them grilled, crispy, etc. Obviously with chicken. I think most of them are chicken wraps. I don't think there's any kind of like meat, beef type wrap or any other type of wrap. I think it is just literally chicken wraps. You can see there the prices are not actually too bad, apart from the spicy chicken nuggets, 6 for £5.39. You know, okay, less than £1 a nugget, but still quite expensive for just processed chicken. The wrap itself, I think £4.39 without the meal. Obviously, in-store or drive-through would be, as I've said every week, probably £1 or £2, or maybe £1 less, obviously for the markup that these companies take. So not too bad. I think it was £6.39, as I say, for the meal. And additionally, I had, as you can see there, the green apple and Sprite combo, but we'll go over those in a bit. So to start with the fries, and this week I don't really want to, I think I'm going to cut reviewing fries, at least for McDonald's, Burger King and all the others, KFCs, etc., the franchise, because they're exactly the same. And this week, they're the same, but worse. There was actually a fry, which you'll see in a minute, which was like, there was no content, there was no potato. It was like a fake fry. It was like that freeze-dried that the potato, it just snapped in half. It was so weird. It wasn't fried or anything. I think it actually been missed from the fryer. But that was a weird fry. So they weren't particularly good this week. I wouldn't say they're particularly bad. They were just a bit cold again, which I don't know how McDonald's addressed these issues with delivery, you know, and whether you go through the drive-thru or not, or go in and buy it and take it out, you know, unless you literally sit there the second that it's been cooked, you know, it's completely different story than what you're getting. However, chili cheese bites, which I think are brilliant, not too hot. The cheese is probably more like a processed cheese, but jalapeno chopped chili mix kind of with the cheese and obviously kind of a batter coating. I think they're really good. They weren't greasy this week. I think at one point when they had them previously, they were a bit greasy. But these aren't bad, and it's quite a thin coating, which I have said in the past is a far better experience because you get the crunch, but you just don't eat too much of the coating. So I think they were pretty good. You know, as far as chili cheese bites go, or some sort of cheese bite, which McDonald's do quite regularly, yeah, I think they're pretty good. If you've not tried them, definitely try them. And obviously with the spicy chili sauce, which I think was pretty good, got a nice kick to it, a nice bit of heat. So onto the spicy nuggets, which I definitely think if McDonald's were listening, you need to keep these to have like an alternative just to your standard nuggets. You can see there the infused, I think is the right word for the batter kind of going into the chicken, kind of just colouring it slightly yellow, was really good. Like the flavour of the spice was enough to give you quite a bit of heat while you're chewing. But then obviously once you swallow, the kind of heat comes back, which if I just find where they are, so spicy nuggets made with 100% chicken breast meat and a mouth-wateringly spicy coating using jalapeno chilies served with spiced chili dip. Yeah, so you know, ground up jalapeno chilies or dried jalapeno chilies, no doubt, to make the batter in it. And it was actually good. The spicy chili dip, as I say, quite a bit of a kick to it and an alternative to the Frank's Red Hot. However, the main event technically, is this fajita wrap. I've not done wrap before, as I say. There's always going to be, if you remember back to my disappointment reviews, the disappointment is, if I can stop messing about with the lettuce, that it kind of looks a bit, a little bit sad, But it is how most wraps would look, obviously, if you unwrap them. I just think the chicken could be a bit bigger, maybe even a third piece. I don't know, maybe that's going to push the price way up, but you can see the size of the tortilla just sort of engulfing the chicken. I've tried to do as best as I could, advertise versus reality. It wasn't that easy to do, but quite a bit different. Everything obviously advertised to draw you in, but it wasn't bad flavours overall. It's just you get a little bit too much tortilla, with kind of too little chicken. But the actual to go over is creamy fajita sauce, tomato salsa, onions. I didn't have the raw onions, cheese and lettuce in a soft toasted, tortilla wrap, served with a choice of either crispy chicken or grilled chicken, I think it was. And I had crispy chicken. So as a wrap goes, the flavours, fajita flavour and the cheese and everything else, it was that sort of fajita style that you could, with your eyes closed, you would know exactly what you're eating, but just a little bit more of it, maybe slightly bigger pieces of chicken. There was a lot of coating to them. What do they do other than the nuggets, the selects? If they were just 3 selects with the I guess like I don't know whether it's a spicy coating on the actual pieces of chicken, but choice of crispy chicken. Yeah, it doesn't actually say, but they were pretty good. I mean, you can see there, not particularly out of this world prices, but not cheap. Everything's still quite expensive. But I give McDonald's its dues. I don't think they're going astronomical yet. Now, onto something which, as a McFlurry goes, I'm pretty sure they've been listening, because there was more sauce, more little bits, chocolate bits, as close as you can get as a cake, Jaffa cake. But their write-up is soft dairy ice cream swirled with chocolate-covered shortcake pieces topped with orange sauce or Jaffa sauce. It was bloody good. It was really good. The sauce was quite almost tangy, very orangey. So I can't slate it at all. I think it was a really good McFlurry combo, whatever you want to call them. There's also the Milky Way one, but I think I've done that before. So yeah, brilliant. Not 10 out of 10, but very close to. The final item, which is just a drink, but it was a combo, and they've got a mango one as well. Just green apple and Sprite. And if they just added maybe I think somebody else did it. What's his name? Bald foodie guy. He did it, and obviously he said the same was, I think it was him anyway. There wasn't enough kind of the green flavour into it. I could be completely wrong. Maybe it wasn't him. Maybe it was somebody else. But I saw a review anyway, and it was kind of like washed out. And I kind of agree. If there was a little bit more, only a little bit of apple flavour into it, it'd be far better. But it was a good drink, very refreshing, and a good addition. So on to the ratings. I wouldn't say, out of this world, but the wrap, as you can see, yeah, pretty good. 9 out of 10, and the rest of them 8.5, 8, 9.5, 7.5. As always, I appreciate everybody watching. And if you haven't, and you've got time, check out these videos.